Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to Border City Rock Talk, where you get great news, great interviews, great interviewees with sometimes a comedic touch. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, comment below, and hit the like button as well. Today I have somebody with a foot disease. I've got Ron Thal, aka Bumblefoot.
Greetings! It is nice to chat with you, sir. I am slightly inebriated because I've spent all fucking day playing mini golf. And
In your
I'm
car.
in my car with the golf club, and I don't know if they think I'm going to run off with it or anything, but yeah, I'm going to go back in there and return the club. But I just wanted to be
Okay.
in a quiet place to chat
Yeah,
with you.
appreciate it. So we're going to talk about your instrumental album, the first one in 30 years. And I got to tell you, the title, Bumblefoot Returns. Where did that come from? Just kidding. I've got a question to ask you about the well,
Well, I
first of
never
all,
went anywhere. That's the thing. It's like returns from where? It's like
yeah.
from the other room. I was thinking I'm going to make a children's book that I'm going to write in crayon as like a merch item where it's like Bumblefoot Returns, and it'll be like just all different things. Like Bumblefoot Returns the jacket he borrowed from his friend in 1987. Bumblefoot Returns, his library book. Like just, I shouldn't do this when I'm a little bit drunk because my
No,
jokes are not
you're okay.
funny.
You're okay.
They're not funny.
It's
They're not.
actually
They're
you're like
shitty.
Kramer. Kramer returns everything. You know Kramer from Seinfeld? He
Of
borrows everything
course.
at Jerry's.
Mm-hmm. I remember
So,
I love that episode with the library, the guy that comes after him for
oh
the
yeah,
old
Mr.
library,
Bookman.
and he's in his face like, I know your type, Johnny come lately, and but it was Jerry, and he was trying not to laugh, and
Yeah, and
yeah,
the guy's name was Mr. Bookman.
perfect name.
So the instrumental, I've got a cliche. Well, not even a cliche. This isn't the cliche yet. So the songs are written during the pandemic. Is that kind of the vibe for the whole album for people before they go out and purchase it?
Well, it's
Like
just
Funeral March, Planetary Lockdown for sure.
yeah, I mean, it's pretty much just a like photo album of here's what I did in 2020 and 2021 and 2022 and a little bit of 2023
Yeah.
and a little bit of 2019. Yeah, and it's just every song is like a different photo. It would be something like that. It's like here's what I did during this time period. And each one is a little bit different. You'll notice the songs are not all in the same lane. It's not the same type of song.
Yeah.
It's just a bit of everything because when you're writing songs, you're in a different mindset. You're in a different place. You're just different feeling, different everything. And that should come out in the song if it's being an honest representation of that moment. So that's kind of what it was. It's just a bunch of moments being captured. And I didn't know what those moments were going to be until they happened. It's like, oh shit, I got to write a song.
Yeah.
And make a song that just tries to audibly capture what you're experiencing, what you're feeling, what you're seeing, everything. Yeah,
Now,
it's almost like scoring moments, as if you were doing a film score, but
yeah,
it's not a
yeah,
film. It's an actual moment that you're living. Yeah.
right. Now, couple of my, and you'll know these songs. You had Steve Vai play with you on the album, For Thy Love of God. And another song that comes to mind as a great guitar instrumental is The Forgotten Part 2 by Satriani. Now, got a question, and this is going to be a lesson. This is going to be an interview lesson. How do you write an instrumental, Ron? Do you write down lyrics and then put that to, different chords and, like a D minor is a sad chord, right? Things like that. How do you write an instrumental?
Well, music is like a language in itself, so it's not. If anything, a lot of times you're taking music and you're translating it to the language you speak to make lyrics out of, that coincide with the melody and everything. In this case, you're just sticking to the original language, which is just melody and emotion. When you are writing instrumental music, it's really easy. Just think of it this way. Think of when there's a song you like and you don't remember the words. So you just go, ah, na, 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 la, 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 la. That's all you're doing, just on a guitar.
Well, you know what? It's akin to a guitar solo in a song.
Well, it is. The guitar is the voice. The guitar is the singer. The guitar is the front. It's the focal point. It's the melody on top. It's the icing on the cake. It's all of those things that very often the vocals could be. But think of it this way. Think of it like old classical music, a violin concerto, where the violin is the main thing. Just we're doing it with our modern rock instrumentation where it's a guitar doing it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's actually very easy to do. For me, it's very easy. Like I
yeah.
think of it like, okay, what am I feeling and what would be the backing track that would fit if this was a movie, if this was a TV show? What would be the sound version of what I'm seeing, what I'm feeling, what I'm thinking? And I've been doing that for years. So that
It's
comes
your,
very naturally. So making instrumental songs is almost like just making soundtrack music, which I have an easy time doing. Yeah.
right. Have you ever done soundtrack music for
I
a movie
have
score?
shitloads, yeah. Yeah, I have done decades of music for video games, for little indie horror movies, for a ton of TV shows. I mean, tons of TV shows have used my music. Yeah, some that I've written specifically for the shows, others where they just used my music, even vocal music, where we just did instrumental versions of it that they used for backing stuff in television shows. Yeah.
Give us one that the casual viewer coming to the show would say, "Oh, really? Ron, you did that?" Give us one.
Uh, that metal show from VH1,
You did that?
the theme song, that's one.
Holy
If you,
shnikes.
okay, do you remember a show? Some people know it, some people don't, but there was a show on a channel called Spike TV. It was called MXC, and it was a Japanese game show where it was almost
Yeah,
like Jackass, but a game show. So I did the
yeah.
theme song to that. Um, the New York Islanders, the hockey team in 2008, 2009, all their promos was my music that they
Are
used.
you kidding me,
For,
man?
no, there's a
What?
ton of stuff. I could rattle off so much shit. The
Oh, I know. You've
Osbournes,
only been
like,
in the music business for 50 years, since you were
there's
six.
pretty much, yeah. So, all the shows like in the early 2000s on MTV, like every one of those shows, Hogan Knows Best, Pimp My Ride, Osbournes, all of those shows were using my music for everything, all the shows. What else? I almost actually had the Osbournes theme, and at the last minute they went with like a kind of lounge version of what do you call it? Fuck, brain fart. Was it Crazy Train? I think it was. Or
Oh,
one
okay,
of them.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they did end up using some of the music that I made for the show. They used it within the episodes of the show and everything. Tons of that stuff. Every day, my stuff has been on TV. It has been on Oprah Winfrey. It has been on lots of WWE wrestling. All kinds of shit. Yeah. So you think you can dance? I heard on there a McDonald's commercial in Finland used one of my guitar solos from an old album of mine. Like all kinds of weird shit. Yeah.
Isn't the weirdest part that they can do that? Isn't that correct without having to pay you? Is that right?
Well, I get something. I do get royalties.
You do.
I don't get like there's like a blanket license to use it
Yeah,
all,
yeah,
and that's fine. That's totally good. And then they pay to the songwriter. They pay a royalty.
yeah.
So if you have a TV theme, every time it's on, depending on when it's on and how long it's used and what it's used for and all that stuff, you do get a little something. Yeah.
See, I understand royalties. Like, obviously, I'm versed in royalties, but I for some reason I thought that like big corporations like GMC or Ford can use like a rock as long as it's and they're allowed to do it. They don't need to ask permission. I don't know
From
where I
what I
read that.
understand, especially if it's used for something visual, you need to get a lot more permissions. You need the
Is
songwriter,
that
you need
right?
the person who owns the publishing.
Okay.
If you're using the actual recording, you need whoever owns the recording.
Yeah, if
Usually,
it's not the recording, but it's a representation of the song, that's what I'm
that's
saying.
why a lot of times what they do is they re-record it, and then you're not at least not using the original recording as
Right.
long as in your record deal that you had when you made that song, as long as a lot of times they say you can re-record the song after 7 years or something like that.
Yeah, that's probably what
Uh,
I'm thinking.
yeah, so there's that stuff. It's I think the big companies do pay and pay well.
Yeah, well,
Uh,
I would hope so.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
they don't want to be using especially popular songs from popular artists, stealing them when that artist can't afford to sue the shit out of them. So
yeah, right.
so they do it legitimately. They don't need the hassle. Yeah.
So let's clarify something here as your lawyer. You're not
Mhm.
driving, obviously.
Um,
You're not
I don't
driving,
think so. No, no.
obviously.
I can if you, yeah, if you want.
No,
Yeah.
we don't want you
I'm
to
driving
drive,
now.
as per earlier, but I'm sure you're not inebriated. You're just joking. Well, how did you golf?
Uh, how how did I do?
Yeah, a 54, you said today?
Oh, no, no, I did better than that. Um, no, I did okay. Let me see. Do I still have the sheet, or did I throw? I threw it out. Oh wait, but I still have my ball.
What's
I
the
have
name of
one
the,
of my balls.
what was the name of this big golf course you're at?
The golf course is called Pop Stroke. It
Oh,
is
mini
in, it's mini golf, yeah, and it's oh, what do you call it? I think what's his face owns it. What the fuck is his name? Who am I thinking of?
a baseball player? You did
No,
that.
no, golf. I know. That's why I suck at golf. Uh,
That's okay. We'll figure it out. That's not
yeah,
important. What's important is that you're safe.
I guess, yeah, and other
Yeah,
people.
because on those mini putt courses, you can get some angry people.
Mhm. That's why I've been banished to my car.
You've been hiding in your car. So, how many tracks are on the album,
There are 14 tracks on the album.
and how many minutes are on the album?
Uh, I don't know. I'm not sure. It's like an hour-ish. I gotta check.
More than
Yeah,
5 minutes, less than 3 hours. Is that about fair to
somewhere
say?
in that, somewhere in that vicinity. Like
And who?
more than a like plank thing and less than infinity.
Yeah, like you're talking about the
Somewhere in
less
there.
than equal sign.
Kind of, yeah.
Who's on the
But with
album
a
besides? Who's on the album besides Brian May and Steve Vai?
I'm on there. Who
And you
else?
are.
Um, I'm the guy who's people that they don't know his name. So Steve Vai, Brian May are both on there. Guthrie Govan, an old dear sweetheart of a friend of mine from when we were teenagers. Known him since the late 80s. We used to be pen pals and would write each other handwritten letters and send cassettes of our demos back and forth. The drummer, Kyle Hughes, phenomenal drummer. He's been my drummer for like 10 years. He's fantastic, except for one song, is Jerry Gaskill, the drummer of King's X.
Oh
He's
wow,
on the song with Brian May. And Derek Sherinian, my Sons of Apoyo bandmate.
Derek's another guy that doesn't say no often. He's everybody's like best friend. Hey, Derek, can you play on the album? Sure. Ron, can you play on the album? Of course. Ron, can you take this
He does
interview?
more than
Yeah,
I do. He loves to play,
yeah.
and he does it a lot. Has dwarfed the amount of playing that I have done on people's albums. Yeah,
Really?
actually, him, Jeff Scott Soto, Billy Sheehan have all done like the four of us have from Sons of Apollo do a ton of playing on people's albums together. Yeah. Yeah, we do a
So
lot of like recording projects together and just sort of guest work as almost like a little team together of things. Yeah.
yeah. So where can people get this? I'll put a link below, obviously, but where can what label is it on? Where can they go
Oh,
get it?
there is a plethora of places where it can be gotten. Uh, I can tell I'm drunk from saying stupid
I
shit.
was gonna say
So,
you can't be inebriated because nobody can pronounce plethora sober.
well, that's the thing. Yeah, it's you can only do. Oh shit! A self-driving car just passed by.
Really?
Yeah. I heard that people had stop sign shirts, and when one would drive by, they would like open their jacket and show it the stop sign like on their shirt, and it would come like screeching
Yeah,
to.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's fucked up. That's not good. That's dangerous.
They're good, man.
It's
Hey,
something that you might think of as a joke, but you really shouldn't do it. So anyway, what was the question again?
that's what I was saying. What label is it on?
Oh,
Where can they
yes.
get it?
Okay, so bumblefoot.com. You can get it there. I have vinyl, beautiful vinyl. I mean, the thing we love about physical product is all the artwork. So I made sure it was filled with a plethora of artwork. And That's three times I said it. So it opens up. It's got the each sleeve is full color, and the disc itself has artwork on it. It's clear, and it's a UV art pressing on the second disc. So you can see like the little spaceship spinning while it plays. And then there is a CD. The booklet opens up into a nice little big square, big little square. And there was a cassette, just for the fuck of it. I was like, I'm going to put this out on cassette. Why not?
Wow.
So it is available on cassette. And even that, it unravels into a whole big strip of
And that's
artwork.
what we miss, reading all the inserts, right? Remember back in the day?
Yeah, yeah, all of that stuff. Then when you could just hold it right in front of your eyes, there was no screen involved. You're seeing it. It's right there. Nothing beats that. It's just, it's art. It is.
Right.
It's different. It's better. Yeah. So I did all of that. Then, of course, downloading and streaming. It's on Shitify and all those things. Yes, you can get it there. And then the wonderful record label, Deco Records, Deko. Great
Yeah.
label. So they are putting it out for retail. So through them, it's on Amazon. It's going to be in any stores that are out there. And there are still stores. And it's available through them. So you could get it at decoentertainment.com also, directly from them. They are partnered up with Cargo Records in the UK. So they picked up a shitload of them also. So from the UK, people in Europe and the UK can get the album directly, what is it, Cargo Records direct.co.uk, something like that. Or just stores out there. So it's available. Who else? Disc Union, that distributor, ordered a bunch for Japan. Who else? But that's, yeah, and I know Deco will make it available in Canada also, so you don't have to deal with the crazy ass shipping costs because it's so bad right now. It's hurting. It's bad for people that want to buy it. It's bad for me because people won't buy it because some of the shipping is twice as much as the thing itself. Like you get a CD for $12 and the shipping is $25.
Well, remember during COVID, during the pandemic, remember you'd order a book from Amazon, it would be like $198 because they knew you couldn't go to a store to fucking buy it.
Yeah, it's pretty shitty. So it's not like prices really went down very much, and they usually don't. You know, they go up for something and they never go back down. They just keep going up more.
Go down a little bit for a sale, but it's not a sale because it costs them 50 cents to make a product they sell for $20 and then they put it on sale for 10.
Yeah, that whole
So,
thing.
are you planning any shows to promote this?
Well, I'm not going to do a tour.
So,
I got too many gray hairs. I don't want to I'm avoiding touring whenever possible at this point.
no.
And my efforts are going more into teaching things like rock and roll fantasy camps. I'm doing lots of those. Just did one in LA. I got another one in a few weeks in Florida. And then I am going to do a show with Derek on keys, with Vinny Appice on drums, with Tony Franklin on bass. We're going to play the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. We're going to play it for
You got 3/4 of Blue Murder there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, Carmine.
Yeah. Well, that's, I mean, you got three,
So-
well, 2/4. Well, Tony Franklin.
Well, it was 1/3. So Tony's 1/3, and
Okay.
Vinny Appice, he has kind of the bloodline of Carmine. So I don't know how
Yeah, so
that
1.5.
factors into the equation. Sort of. Yeah.
What else you working on?
Oh, what else? Well, there's still more stuff going on with the album. So there's a video game. If you go to bumblefoot.com, there is a free Simon in Space, that's the single, video game. So you go there and there's links for it, and you can play this retro space shooter fun little video game. Just shit to make the record release fun, you know, just having all of that stuff, like just things that are kind of just not just putting it on digital streaming and that's the end of that. Like doing cassettes, doing a video game. I have all my weird guitar sounds that I used for the album. It was all done with the Line 6 Helix piece of gear. So I made all my presets, all the sounds, all the weird guitar sounds are available that people can get through Line 6's website. So there's that. And I wrote out the entire album. Like every detail, the direction of the picking, the fingers used, the musical notation for every single track, every background guitar, everything for every song. and that's going to be digital and printed up as well. That'll be available through a great company called Sheet Happens Publishing. So that's coming up. And I'm going to start working on a comic book, a Bumblefoot comic book. And I am going to make a hot sauce named after one of the songs for the album, Moonshine Hootenanny. So it's going to
Yeah,
be, should be, with a name like that, sort of a Louisiana kind of vinegary red hot sauce, but with some boiled down moonshine in it to give it
you
a
know,
little twist.
I gotta
Yeah.
ask you, where do you get time to do all this? Like, where can I go to subscribe to a 36-hour day?
You just got to work quick. That's it.
Really?
Well,
Yeah,
you know
for
what the thing is? You know, people would think, oh, you just need to like work for 20 hours. No, you need to sleep for 8 hours. That is the key.
yeah.
When you get a good 8 hours of sleep, your 16 hours you're awake are so functional
You know what? You're
and
so
you're
right.
not a walking zombie and you're more focused and you do more. And a lot
Yeah.
gets done in those 8 hours.
No,
You know,
that's more than just a doctor's thing, a suggestion. It is true because I know when I get 8 hours of good sleep of my 4 levels of sleep, and you know that a blade of grass looks just so it's mind blowing, or a leaf. You know what I'm saying?
that's called acid. Uh, okay, or sleep. Yeah.
Yeah. So I won't keep you. But are you golfing by yourself or?
No, I got a couple of people with me. They're putting while I'm in here talking, and I'm gonna meet back up with them. I'll find them in there and hop on and I will approach them with my ball in hand. I will show them my ball and start playing,
So
and
what
I'll
about this
join
for
you.
a title? Ron holds his ball in interview. What if you had two? You got two? Well, no, I didn't mean that.
Uh, I just have one on me here. Yeah.
Okay, I won't
So
keep you. I'm gonna put all the links below. Thanks for taking the time out. Favorite Canadian musician? We've asked this before, but in case I've got new subscribers. Who's your favorite Canadian?
that's a tough one. Let's see. The Sierra Levesque, uh, from the Ottawa area. Look her up.
Yes, that's right. No, I did look her up. Somebody
Mhm.
else told me about her too. Yeah,
She's
no,
great.
she's good.
But of course, I know it's the default thing, you know, and everyone could say, well, you could say Helix and April Wine. You could say, I mean, there's a shitload. Of course, you have the Triumph Camp, but I will always have to go back to, of course, you know who I'm going to say, the Rush Camp.
I thought
Rush.
you were gonna say
Uh,
Killer Dwarfs.
well, them. Okay, them. Uh, personally, as okay, as personal, yeah,
Yeah.
Russ and the dwarfs, absolutely. But as far as like lifelong, before the dwarfs even existed as a band,
Before they were even
I
mentioned.
was growing up and they were very influential to me and very
Yeah.
inspiring to me. So absolutely Rush. I had a cover band when I was 13, 14, 15 years old, 16 years old too. And for real, half of our set was Rush songs.
Wow.
And not the typical ones. Like we had some deep cuts in there. We would do Bytor. We would do, Strangiato. We would do Cygnus. We would do, of course, Xanadu. Like we would get into the, beneath, between, behind, all kinds of shit.
Not the
Anthem.
radio stuff.
We would really get in there. Yeah. Uh, everything. And pretty much any Rush song through moving pictures, we were on it. Yeah.
Right on. Okay, what's the opposite of unsubscribe, Ron?
Uh, subscribe.
Everybody do as Bumblefoot says, subscribe to the channel for these great interviews from great locations. Like Ron is also living in his car like Doug. So everybody send a donation. I'll have a link below for GoFundMe. But
Thank
I'd
you.
like to thank you for taking the time, my friend. You're always generous with your time.
Always a pleasure. Thank you so much.